Good morning to our beloved lecturer and friends. We would like to thank to our lecturer for giving us the opportunity to be here today. Before we begin, allow me to introduce ourselves. I am Nurin AFIQA BINTI YUSNI. My metric number is 01DKA20F2003, and on my right is Syabiha binti HAMDAN, and their metric number is 01DKA20F2017. My dear fellow friends, do you have any experience cyberbully? Have you ever discussed about your cyberbully problem with family or others? Well, today we are going to talk about 6 ways to prevent cyberbullying. Allow me to define our roles. I will talk about 3 main points while partner will explain about another 3 points how to prevent cyberbullying. Dear friends, my first point is establish climate of communication with your child. Every psychologist will tell you that one of the best ways to help your child or student is by establish a climate of trust and communication. It's not enough to be willing to talk with a child or hope that they'll come to you if they experience bullying. Immediately, there will be communication patterns established where they are just likely to discuss this with you, but see you as a resource and support system. Establish a climate of trust and communication. Parents communicative openly and effectively, chances are that their children will too. Good communication skill will benefit children for their entire life. Children begin to form ideas and beliefs about themselves based on how their parents communicate with them. When parents communicate effectively with their children, they are showing them respect. Children then begin to feel that they are heard and understood by their parents, which is a boost to self-esteem. On the other hand, communication between parents and children that is ineffective or negative can lead children to believe that they are important, unheard, or misunderstood. I have just discussed how establish a climate of communication with your child can prevent cyberbullying. Dear friends, I shall now move on to my second point, that is protect account and device. When it comes to preventing cyberbullying and similar behaviors like catfishing, it's important that your child use password on everything. Passwords are one of the most effective ways to protect their account and their device. As well as emphasize that your child should never share their password with anyone, including their best friend, even though they may trust their best friend implicitly. The reality is that friends come and go, and there is no guarantee that they are going to be friends forever. I have just discussed about is protect account and device can prevent cyberbullying. Dear friends, I shall now move on to my third point, that is keep personal stuff private. Kids should not never share their address, cell phone number, or email online. They should even be careful about sharing too much information about they go to school, especially if they have friends or followers online that they don't know really well. More often than that, remind them that people are not always who they claim to be online. Even though their profile photo is one of a teenage girl, that doesn't mean that the person behind the account is actually a teenage girl. It could be someone pretending to be a young girl in order to gather information on other teens. So, they need to keep their information as secure as possible. I have just discussed how keep personal stuff private can prevent cyberbullying. Now, I call upon Syabiha to continue with our presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nurin AFIQA. I'm Syabiha binti HAMDAN. My metric number is 01DKA20F2017. Dear friend, I shall now move on to our fourth main point, that we should define it. Parents should give their child a formal definition of cyberbullying. Give them examples that they might actually experience using the online activities they are most likely to use. There are many forms of cyberbullying, from light-hearted but hurtful comments on Facebook, to passive-aggressive posts on Instagram, to trolling on YouTube, to cyber-stalking everywhere else. Besides give them examples, try to be patient and ask a child about the problem in general. What is cyberbullying? Does she or he know someone who is being bullied? What children should do if notice acts of bullying. This way, you will see how much your child involved in the situation and which side he or she is on. I have just discussed how define it can prevent cyberbullying. Dear friends, I shall now move on to our fifth main point, that is teach your child to think before posting. Help your teens get in the habit of taking some time before posting. For instance, they could create a post offline and then come back to it in an hour and decide if they still want to post it. Doing so will keep them from posting things in the heat of the moment that they may later regret. Cyberbullies may take what your child posted and use it against them in some way. So, it might be helpful to encourage your child to take time to think before posting. Moreover, you also need to teach your teen how to practice digital etiquette on a regular basis. Using social media and other online tools is a privilege, not a right, and one that can be taken away if they are unable to use it responsibly. This is a good practice for kids either way in order to maintain healthy relationship with social media. I have just discussed that teach your child to think before posting can prevent cyberbullying. Dear friends, I shall now move on to our sixth main point, that is report cyberbullies. When a teen or anyone is a victim of cyberbullying, there are people they can turn to for help and for recourse against the person abusing them. This includes not only telling their parent what is happening, but also letting the social media platform, internet service provider, and any other necessary parties know what is going on. Once all the reports have been filled, take the appropriate steps to block the person or account responsible for the cyberbullying. Besides that, teens also should learn to be good bystanders too. If they witness cyberbullying online, they should refrain from participating in the cyberbullying and instead look for ways to support the person being targeted. They also should report what they witness online to a responsible adult, a teacher, or a principal, especially if they know who is doing the cyberbullying. I have just discussed report cyberbullies can prevent cyberbullying. My dear friends, today me and my partner had discussed about ways to prevent cyberbullying. She had discussed 3 key points, that is, establish a climate of communication, protect accounts and devices, and keep personal stuff private. And I had discussed 3 key points, that is, define it, teach your child to think before posting, and report cyberbullies. Cyberbullying is a growing social problem that has become all too common in online communities. In fact, research indicates that 1 in 5 has been cyberbullying, while 59% of teens have been harassed online. Like all forms of bullying, cyberbullying causes psychological, emotional, and physical stress. My dear friends, let me end our speech by quoting Reverend who said, "Being a bully on the internet is a sign of insecurity and weakness." With that, we end our presentation. Thank you. Do you have any questions? Once again, thank you for being such a wonderful audience. It has been a great honor and pleasure for us to be here today. Thank you.